It's been a while since I've done a video and been quite busy, but one of the things I do in my spare time is answer questions on Chain Reactions customer forum. And I thought I'd do this video because there's been an awful lot of questions asked about the Brand X dropper post that Chain Reaction introduced last year. So what I'm going to do is, the post is already fitted to the bike, but I'm going to do like a retro video and go through as many as the questions that I've seen answered or asked on the forum and try and answer as many as possible. So the first thing you need to know is the dimension of your actual seat post. So if I take my vernier scale and put it on here and measure it, the measurement is 31.6 millimeters. Brand X make two different diameter size seat posts, and the other one is 30.9 millimeters. As long as you've got one of those two measurements, at least you know that one of or the other of the posts is going to fit the diameter of your seat tube. The next thing a lot of people ask is about length, and this is 410 millimeters long, which is the exact length of the dropper post. However, the actual drop of the post is only 120 millimeters, which, if I use this, let's bring out here 120, is roughly that. We'll show you that on the bicycle in a minute. But although it doesn't sound as much as some of the Reverbs or the Thompson posts, 120mm in most cases is more than enough to get your seat well out of the way for big rocks, jumps and bad landings. So this is the seat post that's fitted to the bike, and as you can see, that is 120mm, and by pushing the lever and pushing on this and let go, that's the drop you've got. That's more than enough for most applications, and obviously if you squeeze the lever, that comes back up. The other thing is, wherever you push this down and let go of the lever, that's infinitely adjustable in between each setting and will come straight back up to the stop position. So the next thing you need to know is this particular post is internal cable fitting only. This actually means that the cable goes down inside the seat post tube and exits, in this case, at the bottom of the frame. Some different models of bike, the cable sometimes comes out here and runs up the top of the down tube. Sometimes that exits a bit further up and you can run it underneath the top. That's all going to be down to your frame. I just happened to be lucky that the frame I bought was a Brand X frame, and I got the frame before they made the seat post, so I just lucked out. So the next thing I want to talk about is the lever that comes with the kit. Personally, I think this is where some of the price point comes into play, because although this isn't the worst dropper lever in existence, there are several things you should be aware of. And the first thing is, when you go to fit this, the inside of this mounting system is very rough, and if you don't just lightly sand around the edges, you will mark your bars, especially if you're using carbon ones. Nobody really wants to do that. For me, the worst thing about this is, and I don't know if I can show you effectively, but the pivot point on this lever is absolutely shocking. And if I can get this on film, this hasn't had an accident or been clumped by a tree or dropped. This is how it came at the factory, and as you can see, the pivot point is shocking, and that's not going to take much of an accident to smash this. And if you're out on the trail, you know, you had it really. We will be moving on to what I think is a good solution in a minute, but I just thought you'll be made aware that I think this is where they saved some money to bring the price point down of the dropper post, because the post itself is excellent. The other thing is that a lot of people keep asking is, which end does the nipple from the cable go on? Now, in Brand X's case, and with a lot of dropper posts, the actual nipple end goes through there, so it's up at the bars, and the plain end of the cable, if you like, is what is inserted inside the seat tube, and you have a barrel nipple with a grub screw on the end, and that's what you tighten your cable onto. But we'll show you that in a little while. This is my solution. I changed the handlebar lever out for a race face turbine one. It is quite an investment. They retail at around £49. However, this is 1000% better made. It's going to last out the life of the bike. What can I say? For how cheap the seat post is, I think this is worth paying the extra for, especially like me. If you run it for a few months and get on with the dropper and really like it, I think it pays you to get decent lever, and if you're doing it over time as well, that's not one lump sum, which obviously is a consideration. And whichever way you cut it, this is still less than half the price of a Reverb, and a lot of my friends have had so many problems with them, it's just a joke. In conclusion, I would happily recommend this dropper post to anyone looking for this type of upgrade for their bike. These fluctuate in price. I mean, I paid £99 for mine. Currently, this morning, the 1st of May 2017, on several websites, that's retailing for £125, which is still a heck of a lot less than a KS dropper, or £300 for a Reverb. I don't want to get into dissing other manufacturers. I haven't owned a Reverb, but I have ridden with them, and I was all set to buy one until I actually tried it in real life. And I'm a big fan of RockShox products, but in this case, I couldn't really see the value of paying out all that money for something that was flawed. As far as it goes, I've had the Brand X post on my bike now since November. I've done 2,500 miles on the bike, and as you saw earlier in the video, the post is absolutely flawless in its operation. There's under a quarter of a millimetre saddle movement side to side even now in it, and that's nothing at all to worry about. That certainly isn't going to affect your riding or your pedalling. It comes with a 2-year warranty, which again, for the price of the thing, ride it for 2 years. If that go wrong inside that, you're going to get a new one. If it lasts longer than that, fair play to you. What more can you say? That's cheap as chips. Going to save you plums from getting bashed. I give it a 10 out of 10. This diagram shows the cable length you should leave at the seat post end on the bicycle. It's 18 to 19 millimeters long, and as you can read from the text, that's more than enough. The cable then goes through the bottom of the frame in this application and up to the handlebars, and there you can see the barrel being put into the bottom of the seat post. There's a little cradle that the cable sits into, and that's what gives you your pull strength. Everything's pretty straightforward, and happy hunting, and I hope you do well fitting your seat post.